My love is set high upon a Hawa, therefore I keep his commandments. My love is sweet upon a Hawa Shah, therefore I feed his sheep. Okay, so let's listen to an account of the children of Israel only having 150 men and how they were able to do battle with hundreds of thousands of men because the spirit of Yahweh was upon them. And that was back then. That was before we were given a stronger body, a everlasting youthful body. Because when we talk about everlasting life, we're talking about everlasting youthfulness, okay? As Christopher Columbus then was trying to look for the fountain of youth, well, we have it through Yahweh Shai. We have the fountain of youth through Yahweh Shai. And that's why it's important to understand who Yahweh Shai is and what's going on with Yahweh Shai. Because through him, we have the fountain of youth, okay? Because Yahweh Shai did not live to be an old man. He was a young man when he died, and he was a young man when he rose from the grave, and he was regenerated and he was refreshed. Okay, he was so refreshed that he was fresher than a child, the scriptures say. So let's read this account about when the Most High used 150 of the children of Israel to do battle with the armies of Edom, Ishmael, Moab, and the rest of the children of the east, which their numbers could have been in the millions. But let's listen to how the Most High was able to use just 150 of the children of Israel. And I want you to think about what he's going to do with 144,000 of the children of Israel when Yahweh Shai returns to this earth.
And the men of Israel assembled and were about 150 men, and they went into battle to assist the Egyptians. And the men of Israel and of Egypt went forth, about 300,000 men and 150 men, and they went toward these kings to battle, and they placed themselves from without the land of Goshen opposite Pathros. And the Egyptians believed not in Israel to go with them in their camps together for battle, for all the Egyptians said, Perhaps the children of Israel will deliver us into the hand of the children of Esau and Ishmael, for they are their brethren. And all the Egyptians said unto the children of Israel, Remain you here together in your stand, and we will go and fight against the children of Esau and Ishmael, and if these kings should prevail over us, then come you all together upon them and assist us. And the children of Israel did so. And Zepho the son of Eliphaz the son of Esau king of Kittim, and Hadad the son of Bedad king of Edom, and all their camps, and all the children of the east, and children of Ishmael, a people numerous as sand, encamped together in the valley of Pathros opposite Tashpanches. And Balaam the son of Beor the Syrian was there in the camp of Zepho, for he came with the children of Kittim to the battle, and Balaam was a man highly honored in the eyes of Zepho and his men. And Zepho said unto Balaam, Try by divination for us that we may know who will prevail in the battle, we or the Egyptians. And Balaam rose up and tried the art of divination, and he was skillful in the knowledge of it, but he was confused and the work was destroyed in his hand. And he tried it again, but it did not succeed, and Balaam despaired of it and left it and did not complete it, for this was from the Lord, in order to cause Zepho and his people to fall into the hand of the children of Israel, who had trusted in the Lord, the God of their ancestors, in their war. And Zepho and Hadad put their forces in battle array, and all the Egyptians went alone against them, about 300,000 men. and not one man of Israel was with them. And all the Egyptians fought with these kings opposite Pathros and Tashpanches, and the battle was severe against the Egyptians. And the kings were stronger than the Egyptians in that battle, and about 180 men of Egypt fell on that day, and about 30 men of the forces of the kings, and all the men of Egypt fled from before the kings. So the children of Esau and Ishmael pursued the Egyptians, continuing to smite them unto the place where was the camp of the children of Israel. And all the Egyptians cried unto the children of Israel, saying, Hasten to us and assist us and save us from the hand of Esau, Ishmael and the children of Kittim. And the 150 men of the children of Israel ran from their station to the camps of these kings, and the children of Israel cried unto the Lord their God to deliver them. And the Lord hearkened to Israel, and the Lord gave all the men of the kings into their hand, and the children of Israel fought against these kings, and the children of Israel smote about 4,000 of the king's men. And the Lord threw a great consternation in the camp of the kings, so that the fear of the children of Israel fell upon them. And all the hosts of the kings fled from before the children of Israel, and the children of Israel pursued them, continuing to smite them unto the borders of the land of Cush. And the children of Israel slew of them in the road yet 2,000 men, and of the children of Israel not one fell. And when the Egyptians saw that the children of Israel had fought with such few men with the kings, and that the battle was so very severe against them, all the Egyptians were greatly afraid of their lives on account of the strong battle, and all Egypt fled, every man hiding himself from the arrayed forces, and they hid themselves in the road, and they left the Israelites to fight. And the children of Israel inflicted a terrible blow upon the king's men, and they returned from them after they had driven them to the border of the land of Cush. And all Israel knew the thing which the men of Egypt had done to them, that they had fled from them in battle, and had left them to fight alone. So the children of Israel also acted with cunning, and as the children of Israel returned from battle, they found some of the Egyptians in the road and smote them there. And whilst they slew them, they said unto them these words, Wherefore did you go from us and leave us, being a few people, to fight against these kings who had a great people to smite us, that you might thereby deliver your own souls? And of some which the Israelites met on the road, they the children of Israel spoke to each other, saying, Smite, smite, for he is an Ishmaelite, or an Edomite, or from the children of Kittim. And they stood over him and slew him, and they knew that he was an Egyptian. And the children of Israel did these things cunningly against the Egyptians, because they had deserted them in battle and had fled from them. And the children of Israel slew of the men of Egypt in the road in this manner, about 200 men. And all the men of Egypt saw the evil which the children of Israel had done to them, so all Egypt feared greatly the children of Israel, for they had seen their great power, and that not one man of them had fallen. So all the children of Israel returned with joy on their road to Goshen, and the rest of Egypt returned each man to his place.
So the book of Jasher, chapter 64, verse 49, tells us that not one man of them had fallen, or that not one Israelite had fallen in the battle in which they had conducted with the children of Edom and the children of Ishmael. And that confirms Joel chapter 2, verse 8, which says, Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. And so when you understand that the Most High has the ability to make sure that we don't get hurt in these battles, and this is something that we're going to have to understand as we go further into the future and get closer and closer to the return of Yahushua in this final battle that we have to conduct as the 144,000 as the Most High's elect.